All right, all right. Let's get this thing going here. Share my screen. Dun, dun. We need a bigger screen than that. There we go. So, guys, Cam had it set for 9:30. I told him I'd jump on here a little bit early. The goal is I start trading at 29, 9:30, right at the market open. So these are trades that you guys saw last Friday that I was in. Let me go to the 30-minute here so you can see these. So right here are all those buys that we had when we were just trying to get in those small little scalps. And I was like, hey, I'm not worried about it. The market's going to come back up. We're solid. So as you can see, all these are good now. We're solid. I've got a TP set, which it's missed my TP right here by 37 pips. So these are the same entries we had last week. So what I'm looking for, and yes, I do have the sell down here because I've got a TP here. There's still a little gap right there that needs to be closed. That will end up getting closed. I'm not worried about it. That's a small little trade anyway compared to what we have. We still have the GU trade running nicely. This is my sell. We did have buys that entered here that's currently up 132 pips. I've still got this protected. My protection on this trade is still worth $21,000. So even if I get knocked out of this trade, we're still making 21. So we're not mad about that. Current equity, for those that are asking, because I know we'll get it. We've got 93,000 total equity. That negative trade 61. Not worried about that. We'll get out of that. That's an easy one. But we're all positive across the board. So we could close all these out, be solid. I'm going for TP on this just because I feel that we'll more than likely get it. If we look back here, we've got basically this tiny little gap right there. And if you trade long enough, you know how those gaps go. So TP is what I'm wanting, and we'll go from there. Market's opening in 5 minutes. So let's see what we got here. See if we got any dot to dots, which we do. We've got a 30-minute dot to dot that's running this way right here. If you guys don't know, the dots are what I use for anchor points, just to get my trend lines going. Actually, we're going to use a new template. This is my template that I gave my group. So if you are part of my private Discord, this is the template that we had. This was the market open on 1630 right here. This was our trend line break for entry 1, trend line break for entry 2. This was our break zones for entries yesterday. And then this was, obviously our TPs up here as well. So it was another break and TP. And we entered right here. There's right there's where we entered. So currently that trade is up almost 898 pips for all of my traders. So solid trade on that, hands down. Freaking love it. So we'll go mark up a new one here. That way I don't mess that one up. So since I'm already in buys, we would look for rejections. If price does come down and hit this, we'd look for a rejection coming up. That's our 30-minute. So we got our 30-minute trend line. We're going to go to the 1 minute. We're going to zoom out, see what we got. 1 minute, we do have this area right here where these dots are. So we can take and do the dots like that. And then Giuseppe, will you let them know I'm on a Zoom, please? I don't want the kids to start getting too loud while I'm on here. So to about right there. So let's measure that out, 10 pips. So basically, for us to get into buys, we need to get on top of this gray box right here to get into additional buys, which my TP is right there. And I will not get into additional buys if this breaks. I've got a couple that will be, runners that will let this thing run up and then we'll protect. But basically, 32,792, anything that breaks above that is going to be our buys. I'm currently not looking for sells. Depending on what happens in here, we may take a quick little sell position, just a little scalp. We do have some dots that we can connect. That one, there's too straight of a line for me. I don't like that one. We do have that dot there. That's a decent trend line that we could get probably like from here to here. It's a 100 pip run. It's not too terrible. So Let's go ahead and go in here. And check up with comments real quick. It says your Discord private doesn't accept my card. Is there any other payment method? Yes, I do accept Solana. So you can message me on Instagram and I can set you up for that. So as you guys know, I like to use buy stops and sell stops. That way I don't have to worry about pushing a button. So we're going to go in. We got positive equity. I'm going in half of what I've got here. Nothing. Actually, you know what? I've got more positive equity. So we'll go at $50 per pip. We break here. I'll take a quick little scalp down. So we would get about, let's see, if we broke there, about right there. So that'd be our quick little scalp from here to this trend line, because this is a 30-minute trend line we've rejected off of. So that'd be our rejection coming up. So it would look like this right here. That's if it even pushes. Like I said, I'm not looking for sales. I will take that scalp, but I really want to take this move right there to TP for the buy. So go ahead and get my screen big on this. We'll see what happens. This is US30. My Instagram is Real Andy Peters. RELANDYPETERS. I know that's a pretty big jump up there. I mean, that's 81 pips. And unfortunately, we're really not left. If we look at the daily on this, I mean, as you can see, we're right here at the top of this daily zone. So we're not left with much to trade with today, unfortunately, unless you're already in the trade. So if you're part of my Discord, then obviously you got to see all these moves and you got in them. If not, we'll just wait to see how we react. What's the buy stop? I don't have a buy stop today because I'm already in all these buys. If we look here, I'm in all these buys heading upwards. So I don't have any more additional buy stops because my TP for these entries are right here. And this is the same setup we had last Friday. So if you were trading with us last Friday, you obviously saw these. I'm pretty sure I traded the big account last Friday. I don't remember. Giuseppe, do you remember if I traded the big account last Friday or did I trade? No, you definitely did. Or did I trade the small? No, because I had the small account too. Unless you just did that quick $10,000. 524 and 518. 524 and 518.
Last Friday was 520.
So yeah, I did trade the small account last Friday. I did show them this, but we didn't take trades on it. I traded the small account because it was my buddy's account.
Oh, yeah.
That I was trading. Yeah, because it hit the stop loss. I remember that now. So when I say I traded my friend's account, he had a little bitty account. A second. What's that say? He had a little bitty account that we were goofing off with. I don't trade people's funds if that's what people are going to. It was more or less, hey, man, I'm going to get in here. I'm going to play with your account. It's a small account. It allows me to do something fun. So that's all it was. But no, before anyone asks, I will not trade anyone's account. So what we have here, let me read through the questions. We got a lot. You got any good EA? I don't have an EA. Let's see. What was the conviction for all the way of the buys up? We've still got this stupid little gap right here. And anytime you've got a gap, 99% of the time it closes them. And fundamentally, we're not going to see a drop of 2,000, 3,000 to 4,000 to 6,000 pips without some sort of retracement back up. So I was just, based on what the market's done in the past and what we've seen, it was like that's kind of where we're at. And it's going to buy back up, at least to close that gap. If we look at the daily, which I was showing you guys earlier right here, when we look at this daily, everything that happened here with these, just wicks, this is showing that, sellers are losing their power. So they lost it here. They lost it here. And then, I mean, all buyers just came in and buyers just pushed up, pushed up, pushed up. And it's a perfect trend on the daily. I mean, if you look at that daily trend, it's beautiful. It just keeps bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. And more importantly, if we zoom out on the daily and we look at where this zone was right here, this right here is a very big area of support. And if you look at the fundamentals that took place during this time, it was a lot of good news too that helped push that up. Go to our 1 minute here. Let's see. Hey, Andy, sent you a message on Instagram and also submitted a website, no reply. Is your Discord? No. So, no, for those that ask, the Discord is no longer $49. The Discord's been open for almost a year now. The Pip Connect's been together for 3 years on Telegram. And I was like, we're supplying so much value across the board. We get a lot of, for people that are into crypto and NFT projects, we have a lot of whitelist and goldlist projects where we get the first dibs on everything. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to create a product that if people are invested into, they're actually invested into the community. It allows people direct access to me because I don't answer messages much on Instagram or any social media platform. It's like I'm in my community, which is the Discord. That's where I spend a bulk majority of my time. So I did make it $2.99 per month, and then also weeds out the. I've learned in life the people that typically spend the least amount are the ones that complain the most. So people were complaining about, man, I can't believe we only caught 250 pips today. This is garbage. And it's like, whoa, like 250 pips, guys. That's a lot. If you can catch that, 2 or 3 times a week, you're actually doing pretty well. So it just weeded out those types of people. But yeah, it is $2.99. We've got a thing where we're doing a friends and family. So if you have someone that's part of the Discord and they're a friend or family to you, have them reach out to me. And we do have friends and family that you can bring one person on at a discounted rate. Will you open a trade copier in this little account? I won't open up a trade copier. It gets just too crazy because people start messaging you for everything. If you have a loss, they hit you up. If you didn't trade, they hit you up. I had a trade copier about a year and a half ago that absolutely loved, had a lot of fun with it. But then I kept getting blowed up every single time. Like, bro, why didn't you take a trade today? It's like, because I'm not trading. I'm on vacation with the family. TP is set right here. And it is right there, 32819. So it just becomes bothersome. But I mean, every trade that I take, I'm trading live. I typically never trade behind the scenes. So if I'm trading on a live Zoom with the team, or I'm supplying the template to the group, I'm not just, you'll hardly ever see me take a trade and then post, the profits or, hey, TP hit without someone knowing about that trade. It's typically always in my community. I do think that gap will be filled. I mean, the plus side is I can hold that trade for quite some time. It's under leveraged. I've got a lot of positive equity in this account. So at $50 per pip, I'm not concerned with that trade one bit. And that's the beauty of not being over leveraged. Julian, I would agree. We should see a nice little push up there for sure. Let's see here, check my messages. So quick update on the trading live. The goal is Cam does have it set for 9:30, which is market open. I'll be on at least 10 to 15 minutes before the market open to do the markups, answer any questions or things like that. It was just us starting at 9 o'clock and then waiting until 9:30 to actually do something. It was 30 minutes. And I just didn't want to tie you guys up for 30 minutes of time. So now it's, 10 to 15 minutes before market open. We'll stay on here till 10:30, see what happens in the market, and that's really it. Daniel, yeah, I agree. This is a good question here. I'm actually going to share it on the screen. I like this one. Sam says, Andy, how was the experience at the FX Summit? You went right. Yes, I did go. I was actually one of the guest speakers on day one, and it was amazing. It was a super humble event. I didn't realize the impact that myself and a few other traders had on people's lives. We got to meet people from all over the world. And as a trader, you think about, you know, we always think about who are we trying to motivate? And at the end of the day, yes, we become motivators and influencers to some extent. We typically fall out of the traders environment into something else, and that's why you see everyone on Instagram that posts the nice cars that have a video team. Like a trader just doesn't have a media team because they want a media team. A trader has a media team because they want to influence, they want to motivate, and they want to be an influencer. So as traders, as you start getting in that realm, you do more of that. And just seeing people coming up to me and telling me how their lives have changed with trading, how my wife and myself have motivated them to do better, how their relationships have gotten better, how they become a better father. Just the stories were amazing. And I would say out of every 10 stories that someone came and talked to me, I would say 8 of them was just about life, not even trading, just how much their life had changed for the better. And I told everyone that's kind of my thing is, we look at trading as a money, like, oh, I can make more money. I can do more with this. I can have this car. I can have this watch. I can have this house. And it's like, yes, but at the end of the day, it's about the quality of life itself. The freedom of being able to do what you want to do with your wife, your kids. And that's always been my story. It hasn't changed. If you watch any of my, because I was in crypto news articles and videos, podcast, everything since like 2016 and 17. And even if you listen to my story then, it was still the same, freedom, family, friends, and fun, and I haven't changed. It stayed the same. And that's what I want to promote. So having people come up to me and talk to me about that stuff was an opener, and it humbled me to continue doing, what I'm doing. So great question, Sam. Very good. Do you trade gold? Gold was actually the first thing that I traded when I got into MetaTrader. Absolutely love it, but I haven't looked at it since the last short that we did. Faye says RSI and Stoch are indicating down. Do you think there'll be a further down movement before it reaches up to TP? I'm holding for TP. I'm a big TP guy. I like TPs, and we'll see what happens. I have a daughter, and I'd love to teach her how to trade. What is a reasonable age to start? I started showing my son and my daughters and all of them how to trade. My daughter's 12, and when she was, 2014, when she was about 4 years old, she would watch me trade, about 4. So my son started when he was around 6, and I didn't, risk management and money and all that. I haven't really told them about the accounts. It's more or less, here's a chart. And when price looks like this is kind of what happens. When we have these dots, you can use it as an anchor to, put the trend line here. And then if it breaks a zone, what do we do? And they're like, oh, Dad, if it breaks a zone, we buy. If the zone's pointing up, if the zone's pointing down, we sell. So just keeping it very simple, because that's how kids operate. Kids operate on a simplistic, linear way of learning. It's not all over the place. It's you show them one thing, this is the end result. And if you show them the tiny steps how to get there, they get there. They don't overcomplicate it like adults. Adults, we know this is step 1, this is step 10. And for some reason, we want to skip steps 3, 4, 5, and 6 to get to 10. A kid will just do every single step along the way. And you'll notice that. Give a parent a Lego set, or have them put together furniture. And you'll see them start, oh, I don't need the directions, or I can skip that step. That doesn't need to be done. Oh, why do they have that in there? Then hand the same Lego set or directions to a kid, and they'll follow it step by step by step. So that's kind of how I think of trading with kids. Why'd you pick that TP? That fills the gap. So that's what fills the gap, and that's just what. To be honest, it's strictly a gap fill zone, and because I have positive equity in other trades, I'm willing to hold it just to hit it. I love hitting my TPs. If you guys have traded with me before, I just love hitting them. They're fun. Is there any correlation between U.S. interest rates and indices? Yes. You'll see them. Our country can go to hell in a handbasket, and you'll still see the chart pump, because we have to remember the US30 is made up of 30 other companies. And while interest rates and all that will affect some of those companies will thrive, pure off people. and what they want to buy in their numbers. So it will affect it. It will have an impact to it, but not long term. It always wins. Nice. She's 4. Thank you. You're very welcome. Adults make everything complicated. Hands down. Hands down. When you give your markups on a private Discord to group members, do you give them hard stop losses and TPs? If I have it on my chart, then yes, I have it there. Stop losses for trades are always your swing lows. So if we look at the chart, like this swing low here, that's market open. So that's not going to be your stop loss. So if you were getting into a buy at market open, okay, meaning you were using this swing high as your anchor and you were just going off of, what you see here with, the little bit of wicks here and a little bit of wicks here, you didn't have that wick, but you had a little bit through here. You could have had it looking, really like this. If you're looking at these right here, as soon as you got into this buy, your stop loss would have been this last swing low. And same goes for sells. So if we were getting into sells, so like if this sell hits right here, it's the last swing high prior to market open. So since that's market open, that's our stop loss. So we know when we get into this trade from the get-go, it's 167 pip stop loss. If we get into a buy, say right here, then we know that it's 108 stop loss for that. Now, granted, with these swing high, swing lows, if you want to give yourself a little bit of buffer, I say allow 10 pips. 10 pips below and above a swing high, swing low, because that's about, the average is about six to 7 pips of a wick that you can get when you get near to these swing lows. So 10 pips really protects you. I was on the Discord when at 50, but ran out of funds, so I had to leave. But if you're considering it, definitely learned a lot and wouldn't have left if I didn't have to. What's up, Ben? I remember you, bro. Long time no see, man. I hope you're doing amazing. Yeah, the Discord's been fun. It's been a place where I can have my own community, my own voice. You don't have to worry about being scammed on there, like on Instagram and everywhere else. I've got all these fake scam accounts and all that stuff, which I have the blue check mark now, so that should help people. But man, I love having my community, and it's more than just a community of trading. There's people that have local meetups in there and go eat dinner and go smoke cigars and go have drinks. Sometimes on the weekend, they're in there sharing what they're cooking, where they're going, sports. I tell people it's not just a trading community. It's a community of a group of people that want others to thrive and others to succeed. And if you want to be around that type of energy and that type of community, then that's where we're at. Let's see here. Yeah, ask me any questions you have about the dots. Your pain group is at 4x roughly. How many pips do you make per week? I've actually not done an average pip count per week, but I mean, I can tell you, I can tell you this week, we're up at almost 1,000 pips between 2 trades just on US30. We've had weeks of, 10,000 to 12,000 pips. We've had days of 3,000 with multiple entries. I tell people that it's not just about the pip count itself, because just because we have a 3,000 pip run doesn't mean everyone's part of it. Some people protect early, get knocked out. Some people over leverage and can't hold, 15 to 20 pips of drawdown. So there's a lot more that goes into it than just a pip count. But we do really, really, really well. And thank you for that, Ben. 100 pip stop loss on US30. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, when you look at US30 and you look at a 30-minute chart and you count the moves from, like, let's say you have a wick here and a fall before it goes back up into this area. I mean, that's 999 pips right in there. Like, that's a lot. Actually, no, hold up. Let's see if So, I mean, when you're playing in that type of candle on a 30-minute, like this one here, I mean, look at that, guys. That's 301 pips on that one candle. So that one's 100 pips. Sorry. So, I mean, when you're playing in those types of moves, then you're going to have some fun. And you're going to have the stop losses pretty big. Keep changing lives, bro. Making money will never feel as good as making an impact on somebody. Amen to that. Amen. And Sam, I can't wait to see you on the next summit. I think we're about to hit TP, which is something I've been wanting for days.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, don't do this to me. No, I'm just kidding. You join the community. There it is. It took that one out. So now we got runners. This is beautiful. All right, so now I'm not worried about my self-stop. There was no scalp needed. So now what we have is we have these beautiful runners down here on the very, very bottom of that screen. Oh, man, that felt so good. So we will go ahead now and take this, bring this up. And we're going to start closing out partials of these. So we're going to cut the 0.25 close and turn this one to 0.25 close. Turn this one. Man, that's beautiful. All right, so we got those closed out now, finally. We will always protect the last one here. So we'll get that protected. About right there, that gives that one a protection of how much here. And then we'll also protect, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's protect both of these at the same height right here. And then let's go ahead and just close those out all together. Let's see here. Man, look at that break right there. That break's amazing. Go and close that one out. Put the, bam. All right, all trades are protected. We're solid. Markup. So markup from the group is now setting at, I gotta update my team, 965 pips and 816. 965 and what did I say that was? Yeah. All right. So between, and then we had our entry. What was our break yesterday? 3-4. Yeah, right there. And that was our break yesterday. So 3-day trade, you're setting at 2,190 pips in 3 trading days. And that was not taking an entry today. If you take today's entry, it broke right there and ran up a little bit. But man, that's beautiful. I freaking love it. What's Andy Peters' channel called? On YouTube, it's just Andy Peters. If you just go to YouTube and type in Andy Peters, bam, I'm there. I'm holding the sell because it's going to close. Here's the thing with me when I trade. There's no reason to take a loss right here when I still know this TP will hit. I mean, it's only a $4,800 TP, but this is going to hit. I'll have sells. So I'll get into sells as soon as these hit here and close these buys out. If we break these trend, this 30-minute trend, so if I remove all of this here, if we break this 30-minute trend, which means a 30-minute candle needs to close below this trend, somewhere in here. I mean, it could be up here, it could be where, but a 30-minute candle has to close somewhere in here. When that 30-minute candle closes below here, I'm going to hit sells. And then I'm going to ride my sells all the way back down into this zone here. The reason I'm not worried about it is because, yes, I've got this drawdown, but I also have positive equity here that gives me a total number. This is the number I care about. As traders, too many people get tied up with, oh man, I've got a negative trade here, a negative trade here. If your positive amount here is more than all of this, you're golden. Even if this number right here gets closer to, say, almost break even, I'll already be in sells running this thing down, and this number will still be up. If we look at the history of what's taken place, and I go to all history right here, you're going to see that we're setting at $574,000 worth of profit. So, I mean, obviously we had fees and all that stuff. So $500,000 worth of profit here, I'm not worried about 73,000 of drawdown when we're going to hit that. So we're looking solid, bro. That is a solid trade. I love it. That was fire. Nas, thanks for doing this, Andy. I'll be joining the Discord. Man, I'll be glad to have you. Cheers, Andy. So another TP hit on Trading Nut. A fun one at that. Freaking stoked. If you took this break zone, which I didn't take any additional entries for the simple fact that I'm already in a ton of entries, but if you took that break zone that we had it marked up on the 1 minute. You can see that our break, when I say a break, that means a candle has to close outside of that zone the candle closed right there. So your maximum up 72 pips, and you're currently setting at 64, 65-ish. So that's a solid trade, my guys. Solid trade. No one's going to be mad about that one. I can promise you that. Oh, look at it. What a beauty. So we were, as you can see, we're at 37. We're at 36 now. So we're basically hedged. So what that means is, for you guys, if you don't know what hedging means, it means the negative balance between this trade here and these two trades here won't change. Okay. The only thing that's affected by it is this trade here. So this 18,000 and 16,000 profit, these numbers will fluctuate going up, but so will this number, and it'll do it at the same rate. So the only way these numbers here change is in the event I close out a partial, or when I get into additional sells coming back down. So for me, since I know this is a break zone for that 1 minute, this can also turn into an area where we could say, if we want an early entry, a 30-minute candle below this zone here could be a nice entry. So we will say, just for argument's sake, if a candle closes, a 30-minute candle closes below this zone here, which would probably be into this area, I could start taking my sells here and then stack again when it hits here. And then that number just goes positive, 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 positive. For the current entry, if you're on this 1 minute right here, your entry was right there. And I'm going to turn my entries into a green line. That way you guys know that was an entry there. So we're turning the line. So that's our entry right here. I would go to look at the 30-minute and see if we have any zones to the left. And there's not many. So let's look at the 4-hour. Let's see what we're hitting. So we've got a pretty massive area right there. So if you're in this, I would say 32,990 would be my max. 32,990, I wouldn't get greedy, and I would go ahead and I'd close that sucker out, because that's a solid run. I mean, there's our entry right there, and that puts you at 180 to 183 pips, depending on how you entered it, and that would be my max. Even at that point there, it would be tough for me not to close out those positions on the bottom. This is US30. Will you set buy stop and sell stops at market open based on a 30-minute trend line? Always wait. Yeah, so I won't always use buy stops and sell stops. If I know there's an opportunity for a quick scalp, then I'll use one. If I know the market, so like when I was trading with my group day before yesterday and even yesterday, I was like, guys, we're not looking for sells like at all. Everything that we're looking for at the moment is a buy. It is strictly buys. So we didn't even have sell stops. Everything that we had was buy stops. Because we were not looking for any sells whatsoever. Look at that. Albert just passed phase 1 of MFF. Congrats, my dude. That is freaking awesome. I love it. That's what it's about, man. On here having fun, hitting TPs. And shout out to Cam at the Trading Nut for allowing me to do this. Sorry I have on glasses and you guys may be getting a reflection. I scratched my eyeball last night, and I didn't even, like, there was a part of me that was like, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to trade. I'm like, my eyes are hurting so bad. So my wife had to run and grab some emergency medicine for me to put into my eye. So I'm feeling much better. But shout out to Cam for allowing me this opportunity to be here on Friday with you guys and trade. Again, it's completely out of my comfort zone to trade on a Friday, because Mondays and Fridays is when I lose the most. It's when I've lost the most in the past. So I just quit trading on those days. And Friday was the day we picked. So again, I'm uncomfortable in market conditions, because I say Friday's Freaky Friday on the charts, meaning it kind of does whatever the hell it wants to do. So it's wild. Yes, big nose. I freaking love it. Julian, have a great weekend as well. Have a great weekend. Trading D30 is the exact same as US30 for London Open. Yes. Drawdown of 75K. You're not worried? Not one bit. Absolutely not. What's the Discord? If you go to thepipconnect.com, I have a private Discord link there. The best group in the world, man. Albert, I appreciate that, bro. I just like having fun with everybody. That's what trading's about. Trading should be fun. If you make trading complicated or stressful or it stresses you out, then I tell people it's not your time to trade. I see people all the time that just they'll throw keyboards, they'll throw their phones, they'll get mad, they'll create arguments with friends and family, and it's like that does no good. Like the charts should not make you that angry, because if they do, that means you have an attachment to something that is way too attached, and it's probably the money. And you can't have an attachment to money and trade at the same time. Thank you, Faye. Thank you. Love how calm you are holding trades. Thanks for the good vibes. I appreciate that. It's, I tell people you're not connected to the money. You figure out the craft, you figure out your style, you figure out your comfort zone, and you don't over leverage. If every single person trading was only trading a penny, if you're trading like GJ and GU and you're using a 0.01 and you were in like $5 a drawdown on a $10,000 account, you are not going to care. But let's think about that. If you're running 10 standards on that trade, that number now has changed significantly. So now where you're at is you're stressed or your account's almost blown. So the leverage part of it has so much to do with trading and the mental aspect. A lot of people forget about that. So how often do I call out trades from my private Discord members? I like to look at trades every single day. If I see something in the market, I'm not one to chase trades. So, that's probably going to happen to us one day where I get on here on a Friday and it's like, guys, I don't like the market. We're not even going to trade it. I'll answer any questions y'all have. And that's what I tell people. I don't chase trades. So if I don't see a trade, I will not mark it up. I won't trade live. I won't do anything. Even if I'm not trading, I'll still throw up a markup for everyone. I like to trade 2-3 days per week. But yeah, you could typically 3 to 4 templates a week for the group is what I hit on average. Albert says, really, man, I spent 2 years looking all the time charts, all pairs, looking for some trades. Now I just trade 20-30 minutes a day, and I'm much more profitable, and better of all, I'm happier trading. And that's kind of where you got to get your mindset, is not living on the computer. If you sit on this computer all day long trading, you will give your money back, hands down. You'll win, and then you'll get into some trades you'll lose because you think the market's going to do this, you feel like it's going to do that. It's human nature. So the way I like to trade is get on here, get off the trade, make your money, be done with it. Close the computer and don't even look at the charts. Like, if you make your money 30 minutes into market open, why do you care what it's doing at 2 p.m.? It doesn't matter. You show up tomorrow morning, rinse and repeat, and do the same thing. The dots are located on Carbon Capital. So if you go to carboncapitalfx.com and you go into the back office and go to helpful videos and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see it there. Could you please talk about ask and bid? It's just the price of where you're at with the spread, which I've got mine. Let's see here. You really can't even, the spread's so small, you can't see it right there. But that's your spread. It's not even, it's like 1 pip. It's absolutely nothing. Put that right there. You're so very welcome. Byron says, yeah, you've also freed up some of my time, clockwork. That's what you do. You are ready to show up, get the work done, close the computer, and live your day. And I think that's where you start to have more of a sense of freedom, what you're doing on the charts, and you're not stressed. If you get in a trade and you're holding this trade all day long, or you're hedged into trades or anything like that, you're not going to be able to enjoy your day. I mean, do you know how many times I've went and ate dinner with friends that are staring at their phone the entire time because they're in trades and they're trying to figure out what's going to do? It's like, that's not the life. Like you're disconnected from the people eating dinner. You're disconnected from the people hanging out. You should have just stayed at home. So get in, get out, make the money, be done with it. Yeah, I've got these buys down here at the bottom. I've got that buy and this buy, which, you know what? I like this area right here for TP. I'm going to move this one. That'll turn into that's a 19. Yeah, that'll be about a $19,000 trade right there. I'll do the same with this one. That puts it about $21,000 trade there. And I'll take care of them. Aren't you trading 30-year-old bond? Yes, I'm trading US30. Live or funded accounts for starting off. I mean, I'm real big on live because it puts you with the money. $100 account and trade pennies. That's it. You don't even have to worry about going heavy. Just trade real money to figure out, the emotions, how you're connected to it. It tells you a lot about yourself too. If you, once you realize your emotions and kind of how you're attached to the money or not attached to the money, you can do funded. But even with funded, I tell people use the profits off the funded accounts to put into a live account so you can build your own live account. There's just something about trading your own account. This is a good one. Join the Discord this week. Absolutely love it in here. Watch the lives this week to fill it out and starting trade on a funded account. You get Tuesday. Congrats. Final TP for these buys will be 32,990. I like that number. It sounds good. Rolls off the tongue good. It's a major area of resistance that we found on the 4-hour. How many hours a day do I spend on the charts trading? I would say not even hours. At most right now, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. If I'm on these lives with you guys, 30 to 45 minutes, and that's really it. Is it possible to still enter this trade? I wouldn't at this point because you've still got what you've got here now is you've got an area of about, I'd say, let's measure this out. 75 pips, give or take, that it can still come back. If you notice, whenever we have a big push with market open, it can come back and retest the entry before it goes back up. And that would just be a risk I wouldn't be willing to take. And that's one thing I'm big on. If you miss this entry, you just miss this entry. And we come back, next week and see what we can do. The market closes early on Monday, I think. I'd have to look at my time chart and see. Would love to join the Discord, but $2.99 a month is pretty expensive. I mean, it is. It is expensive. And, I do that for one good reason too. If a person can't afford, and I'm not saying this to be rude to anyone, but at $2.99, if that's hard to afford, then chances are you probably shouldn't be trading in the market right now. You should be focusing on building more capital. And that's what I tell everyone I mentor. Every single person I mentor, I'm like, build capital. And they're like, well, I've got $1,500 to open a trading account. I'm like, if all you have is $1,500, don't open a trading account, build more capital. Instead of staring at the charts, get a second job, go get up a side hustle, do anything you can to build more capital. Because at the end of the day, capital is what's needed to make big moves in the market. You'll see people take $1,000 account to 5,000 and 5,000 to 15,000, 15,000. People can flip accounts all day, but it's not something that's typically repeatable. And it's not something that people can constantly do. So what makes more fun and more sense is when you have that $10,000 to $15,000 account and you're aiming for that 1% to 2% growth, a couple of days a week. If you can hit 2% growth a day and you trade 3 days a week, that's 24% a month. So in 4 months, you've doubled your account. And actually less than that because you've compounded along the way. So, I mean, it doesn't take much to start making a lot of money in trading once you have the capital. I mean, imagine trading a true $100,000 account and you go in and you take a trade of 3%. That's $3,000. And if you can do that 3 times a week, you just made $9K a week. It's $36,000 a month, but you had to have the capital to get to that number. So capital is king when it comes to trading. Let me answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to jump off here. What would you say is more important, the journey or the destination? I don't weigh heavy on either one of them as far as like what's more important than the other, because the journey is what makes the destination of where you're going. Once you get there, the best part. So I tell people, you figure out where you want to be in life. You figure out how you want it structured, how you want to live your life. And then you start mapping out the roadmap, how to get there. So my background was in corporate America, and everything was roadmaps. Every project you worked on, every new, project you're rolling out or product, there was a roadmap on how to get there. And the same thing should happen with your own life. You should say, okay, in 10 years, I want this, or in 1 year, I want this. In 6 months, I want this. In 3 months, I want that. And you put the things out you want, whether it's freedom, more time with your family, maybe a newer car, whatever it is. And then you have to develop a plan to get there. And where I see so many people mess up is they're like, okay, a year from now, I want X, Y, and Z. How are you going to get there? I'm going to trade Forex. Oh, okay, but how are you going to get? I'm just going to trade. I'm going to trade. I'm going to win. I saw so-and-so do it. I'm going to do the same thing. And it's like, that's not really a roadmap. You're just hoping that you're going to be really good at it and then make that money. So the people that actually achieve that goal are the ones that say, okay, I need X amount of money in a trading account to make X amount of percent a week to get to this goal. Now you're getting somewhere. Now you're developing a plan, a roadmap to get there. Hopefully that helps. Byron says your DOT system and using it for trends and levels has blown my mind. What was your response to when you first started using it? So when I first started using it, I was like, this is pretty neat because it gives me an anchor point for everywhere I need to anchor, and it gives me a point for TPs and stop losses. And that's all I used it for. And then when I realized how powerful it was, it took out the thinking. I was having to go back and analyze, price action. I was having to go back and analyze a candle. I literally said, oh, we've had a swing high here. Price is trending upwards. This becomes a TP area. And that was it. So I was pretty blown away. Chad, that's amazing, bro. Can you go over the engulfing zone on carbon? There's actually an entire video on engulfing zones on carbon. I have a problem closing 1,000 pips on US30 at a 0.01 and eventually hitting my stop loss because my stop loss is 1,000 pips. I try going for 1 to 2 risk reward. If you have problems closing a trade, it can be greed because you want more out of it. And when you're trading a 0.01, you don't have a choice to have a runner. So you just close it. You close it and say, I'm going to come back tomorrow and do the same thing until you get that capital built. And that's it. It truly is about capital, not being greedy and just running it. Could you please explain when and how you switch bias to the short side? Whenever it breaks a trend, that's it. So I've got a 30-minute trend line that you guys see on the bottom that I connected a dot to dot. So if we zoom out, you're going to notice this green line on the bottom here is a dot to dot right there. So the moment it breaks that trend is when I'm going to enter. And if we look at the daily, that trend is a daily trend as well. So when it breaks the 30, that also means it's testing and breaking a daily. And then I'll be on the short side of it. I can make up to 2,000 pips a month swing trading, but only have 1,000 trading capital. That's tough. Trading 1,000 capital is hard. With US30, it's tough. With other pairs, you can do it at a 0.01 and you can build capital off of it. But trading US30, $1,000 trading account is pretty rough. What age did you start trading? 30 is not too late at all. God, I'm 40 years old. I turned 40 years old 20 days ago. But trading's always been in my family. I really got into trading like pretty heavy around the 26, 25-year-old range because I had some capital. I was working in corporate America, I had a 401k, and I had money set to the side. But I grew up in it my entire life. But there's no late time to start or early time. Parents should be teaching their kids about trading, the economy, and how to invest money. As soon as a kid can open their mouth and tell you they want something, that's when the conversation should be had. My kids understand money. My kids understand, how hard it can be to get money. My kids have their own money. When we go out, like my son wanted an Oculus. He just wanted an Oculus. His friends were talking about it. He wanted one. And I was like, cool, go buy one. He said, okay. So, keep in mind, guys, my son's 8. And we load him up in a car. We went to Target and we ring it up and he pays with it, with his $500. It was like $486. It was his money. Our kids do things around the house. They work for their money. They understand it. And if more parents did that, it would help them at a young age realize how important money is in the grand scheme of things. So you just don't waste it. And then investing, like every parent should be investing for their kids' future, whether it's in stocks, anything. And then as they get older, say, okay, you're going to go work a job. Yes. Okay. Well, instead of working this job to buy the newest shoes, the newest clothes, the newest anything, invest. So 10% of your paycheck. Oh, that's your feet. I was like, what am I picking up? I'm picking up a scratching.
Oh, my bad.
Take your money and invest it. If you work a day job and you've got $500 paycheck, $50 buy stock, $100 buy stock. If you're still living at home with mom and dad, put more money in it. And then you start buying the things that you use. So that was probably one of the best things that I ever learned, from my family, and something that I've taught a lot of people that are around me. If you're using a product, why are you not investing in it? And people are like, I don't understand. Okay, if you have a Netflix subscription, you're paying Netflix every single month for a subscription, right? They're like, yeah. Okay, when Netflix first came out and you signed up for them, why didn't you buy stock in it? You're already spending the money for the subscription, so spend the same amount to invest in the company so then the company can pay you back. You start seeing light bulbs go off. It's like when you first started using Google as a browser, did you invest in Google? When you first started using an iPhone, did you invest in Apple? If you're going to spend $1,500 for a phone, buy $1,500 of the stock. If you're going to use an HP laptop, when you go spend $1,000 for this laptop, buy $1,000 worth of the stock. If you've got a subscription, however much that subscription is, use that same amount of money and invest. And you start seeing people think about it. And then you start seeing them do the math. And they're like, bro, if I would have been investing in Netflix and Spotify and Apple and all these companies I have subscriptions with, when I first started using them, I would have like stupid money right now. And I'm like, yeah, you would. So why didn't you do it? Because they wasn't taught. And all that started because I was taught at a young age, and it's something that I can give to my kids that they'll pass on. And that's how wealth is built. Instead of giving a company your money, buy into the company. We all have the option to buy into Apple, to HP, to Microsoft, to Zoom. We're on YouTube, anything, anything you can use, buy into it. That way you make money as well. And give me 1 second, guys. I got to check one thing on here real quick. Excuse me. All right, let's read a few more questions in here. Does your method work in all markets? Yes. My God, when will you write a book with all your insight? It's funny. I've been journaling for years. Since I was like 15 years old, a little bit younger. About 12-ish, I wrote down stuff, didn't make much sense. 15 is kind of when I really started journaling. And I've always said I'll sit down at some point and start writing. I'm not a good writer. I'm not good with grammar. So I just have to put it together and send it off. But there's a lot to be had. And that's the beauty of being, 40 years old and in this market is you're able to share more than just, hey man, I'm 23, 24-year-old trader. I made a lot of money. Let me tell you how to do this. And it's like even at that age, it's really hard to live life through the ups and downs, the valleys, the corporate Americas, the kids. There's a lot that goes with it. So the older you get, the more you've been through, the more you're able to share with people, and hopefully the more they take out of it. I don't have a course. I do online classes. I do online, like 2-day classes. I do some in-person 3-day classes. If you go to thepipconnect.com, I'll drop it in the comments. You can actually see all of my upcoming classes, my private Discord, all that stuff. I just posted that in there. And thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. Let's see. Did you trade BTC on FX using the dots? Yes, all day. Hi, Andy. Thank you for the great content. I was wondering, between investing and trading, which do you think is better to teach kids first? Investing first, hands down. And it can be just a little bit. It can be a piggy bank. I mean, people say, oh, well, you shouldn't save cash, blah, blah. You're teaching the kids just to pull back money and not be attached to it. If you hand a kid, say, 100 $1 bills, and you automatically take out 10 of them, and now they have 90, and you're like, this 10 has to go to the side. Sooner or later, it becomes habit and nature of them to know that anytime they receive money, a portion's coming out of it, and they don't even think about it. They're kids. Sooner or later, they turn into teenagers, and they get that paycheck for $1,000. They pull out 100, and they're like, bro, why are you pulling out 100? That's $100, man. You could take your girlfriend out to the movies, or you could buy this or buy that. He's like, well, because I've always done it, and that's how I save money. And what you teach, you're just teaching them the basics of get used to pulling the money out to put elsewhere. And then they don't have that attachment to that money. Thank you, Jacqueline. I appreciate that so much. Considering how the monthly calendar runs, I think I would be better wait till Tuesday morning to join the private Discord, because yeah, most definitely. And here's the thing. I tell people all the time, I don't force, I don't force people to join the community. It's not something I post a lot. I mean, I think the last time I posted a link to join the community was probably like a month and a half, 2 months ago. I mean, you've got a lot of people on social media where they're posting about their Telegram group and Discord group or whatever every single day. And then every single day is a new discount. And every single day it's like, look, I have a community. If you want to be part of it, awesome. And if it's not for you right now, awesome. And when it's for you, come and join. And if it's never for you, then don't come. Because I just want a place that I can say, this is our community and this is where you can find me. I was at the summit in Austin, which is with Chart Addicts. He was talking and he made such a great point that I like to make to my people as well when I'm talking to the masses. He said, I don't put a lot of time and effort into Instagram, Facebook, all these messages, WhatsApp, all this stuff, talking and communicating to people, because what if they invested in me for me to take my time and invest in them? And that's what I've told people. It's like on Instagram, I'll average around 500 to 600 messages, every day to every maybe 2 days. If I post a story up, replies to that one story is typically around 200 to 300. So if I just spent 1 minute on every single person that messaged me across 1 to 2 days, I would be spending almost 800 to 1,000 minutes every day to 2 days max. That's a lot of time. That's a ton of time. I mean, you're talking about hours just responding to people. And it's like, what have these people I'm responding to put back into what I'm about, put back into my life, put back into my time? So that's why I created the private Discord, because if you're part of the private Discord, you're paying to be part of the community, where obviously we have amazing trades, we do amazing things, we have a lot of fun. But then it also shows me that you are also supporting my vision, my passion to create a community of people to grow. So you're injecting back into my community, which means now I have no problem injecting back in, to what you want. So if people tag me in a post or people tag me in a question, I'm right there on top of it. And if I'm unable to answer the question, I've got my other team members who come in and help as well. So it just allows me to say, if you're part of my community, you mess with me, I mess with you. If you're just on social media, you're just someone else on social media who sent me a message that I don't know. Do you really support me? Just because you follow me doesn't mean you support me. Just because you double tap a picture or even share it doesn't mean you support me to the fullest extent. It means you like the content I put out. We may be acquaintances. But then if it straight hit me up, hey man, can I ask you a question about this? Hey man, can we do this? Hey man, can we do that? It's like, yeah, like that's going to take 30 minutes to an hour of my time, and my kids want to go outside and play. So there's a fine balance there for sure. Let me answer this questions you got here. Can you give free education because I belong to a poor family? I have a ton, when it comes to education, I have a ton of education on YouTube, tons. If you go to YouTube and watch any of my YouTube videos, it actually talks about the dots, how I trade, zones, everything, and it's free. I mean, it's all over YouTube. And I did that for a reason, because I wanted it to be there. In the private Discord, I don't necessarily really educate much in there. I go live a lot and we talk about trades. We talk about what we're doing, but that's really it. The Discord is where I go live. See how close we're getting here. 32, not bad. We're only 60ish pips off from the final quote unquote TP. Man, this Zoom went really well. Well, it's on a Zoom. I keep saying that. It's a YouTube live stream. So we're across Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. If you guys can do one thing for me and Cam, this is all I ask, because I can honestly say this. Trading on Fridays was my off day. I did this because I wanted to be part of Cam's community. Cam was one of the, I think 3 people that reached out to me when I first was in the Forex, industry to get me on his, podcast and talking stuff. So I support him to the fullest. And when he asked me to do this, I said, I'll do it. Cam does not pay me for this. Nothing. I don't pay Cam for this. Nothing, vice versa. This is strictly, Cam said, here's my platform. I want you to get on here and trade if you want to. And I said, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it. So here I am. So the only thing that I ask for you guys is take a screenshot of this, post it on Instagram, tag myself, tag Trading Nut, tag Cam, like, subscribe, the whole 9 yards, but just share what we're doing. Let people know that on Friday, we're doing free content on here. We're doing trade markups. We're taking the trades. I mean, we're having a blast, and it's for the community. So like I said, if there's one thing that you guys can do, screenshot this, tag me on Instagram, tag Cam, and let's get more people on this thing. Can you tell us what to expect in your private Discord? Yeah, so private Discord is, we're made up of different groups. We have a general section, a Forex section, an Indices section. We've got an NFT section, a crypto section, a bar section, a stock section, an options trading section. We have all these sections in there. I go live 3 times a week. We have a community of traders. And that's what I tell you. We have a community of traders who are there to help other people grow and help people reach their goals. And that's it. Like, I don't try to sugarcoat and say it's going to be the best thing ever. It's going to make you more money you've ever seen. Blah. No, we're a community, and it's a community of driven people that all want the same thing. We don't put up with any BS there. We don't put up with people being rude, and we don't put up with negativity. It's positive energy, and we just all want everyone to grow, and that's it. Brett says, hey, mate, first time watching you and I'm blown away. Cheers for doing this. I hope to see more, and we'll definitely be joining you soon. Thank you, Brett. And man, you guys can catch me here every Friday. Like, I want to be here and have fun with everyone and catch some trades and, just have fun in the markets. I can't say it enough. We use that as an excuse. It should be your motivation. Are you implying that you'll be doing this every week? Yeah. So I don't really have a end goal for this. I don't know how long Cam wants to do it. All I know is Cam said, hey, Fridays is your spot. Let's go with it. As long as people are on here supporting it, as long as people are sharing it, I'll continue doing it. So that's a promise that I'll make to you guys. If we don't get people to like and subscribe, we don't have any feedback on Instagram, no one's sharing it, no one's talking about it, then it's like, what benefit do we have doing this? So as long as you guys are giving us the feedback on Instagram, as long as you are subscribing to Trading Nut, as long as you are supporting Cam, then guess what? I will continue doing this. Now, there will be Fridays where maybe I'm not in town or I'm traveling or something like that. But on those days, I'll maybe give out a free, template to the announcement section of my Discord. You can join join just the announcement Discord, which is where I make announcements. I'll actually drop that link in here for you guys. So give me 1 second. What this link does, this will get you to just the Discord itself. So you can see announcements. You can see things that I'm talking about. This is free. It doesn't cost anything. Let me get on here and choose invite and copy. I'm going to drop this in here. All right, so there is the Discord link. I also have a Telegram link as well where I go and drop some stuff. So let me drop that Telegram link as well. And then that way you guys have everything that I use. So this is the Telegram link where I'll post messages out and whatnot. All right. So everything. The dots are on Carbon Capital. Go to carboncapitalfx.com. Go into the back office once you register an account. Go to helpful videos. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Yes, I go live on Discord when I trade. So I do want to say that there are times where I may go an entire week and not trade. I'll still give markups and I'll still give insights to what I'm seeing in the market. But if I'm personally not trading, I won't be going live. I only go live when I personally trade. All right, guys, we are hitting the 10:30 time slot, which is kind of my max I like to do. I got my kids here, my wife's here, I got Giuseppe over here sitting behind me. We're going to enjoy the day, have some fun. We'll watch this TP, and we're aiming for 32,990. If it hits TP, y'all give me a shout out on Instagram, shoot me a message, tag me in something, I'll reshare it. We'll have some good laughs and fun with the market. If you got in this trade at our break, which was right here, you are currently up 100 pips even. Well, 99 pips now, 91 pips. It's dropping 85 pips. Your max that you got to was 140 pips and some change, 142 maybe. So just know you can close this trade out, be done with it, go about your day. You can close out partials. You can protect it, whatever you want to do. Like I said, my max TP on this one is 32,990. That is a zone of resistance and support. So we know that if we hit that zone and it closes a 30-minute candle above it, it will more than likely give us an additional 100 to 200 pips out of it. I don't want to take that risk because, one, it's been a great, great session. It's been a great time holding these trades to finally have TP hit. So we're just going to have some fun. I've got a question. Do you have a link for Carbon Capital? I actually do. So the link that I'm going to give you, as you guys know, when you trade with a broker, they give you what they call an IB link. I have an IB link. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it. This link strictly just allows me, basically the broker itself pays me for you to trade. That's it. It pays me a very small percentage for you guys to trade. Nothing comes out of your pocket at all. It strictly comes out of the broker. That's it. So let me pull this up here. So again, if you want to use this link, use it. If you don't want to use this link, you don't have to. But there is the link right there for Carbon Capital. So just know that if you use it, it is greatly appreciated. Because again, if you take a trade at a standard, I get a couple of bucks on there, which is, pretty nice. It's something fun. It's extra lunch money, should we say. But guys, great time this morning. Another amazing Friday. This is the third time that we've done this. The first week we did it, we murdered TP, which was amazing. The second week, which was the last week that we did it, we did have one trade that was profitable. I did go into another trade at half the amount that was profitable. It hit stop loss, so we broke even for that day. Which, if you didn't take the second trade, you were profitable. Today, third day, profitable. We're running. So that's a good record we have. I freaking love it, and I'm so glad that y'all are here. But again, appreciate everyone here. Y'all have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you on my community, or I'll see you guys tagging me on Instagram. Y'all have a great day.